I've been watching the show from the side, and you guys may be a small crowd, but you're a great crowd. So give yourselves a hand for coming out today. Come on. I don't know if anybody told you this yet, but you're the most important people here. We tried this once without an audience. It fucking sucked. The worst. The absolute worst. And how great is it to be together again in person and not on Zoom, right? Fucking Zoom. Yeah. A lot of comics try doing comedy on Zoom. Let me tell you how horrible that was. Doing comedy on Zoom is like standing on a highway and yelling out jokes to passing cars. Hey, have you heard this one? Zoom! I think that's where they got the name Zoom from. This is very exciting, though. It's so exciting, it makes me wish I could have been here tonight. Unfortunately, I'm out of town. Is that too weird? I don't know. I did that one night. I said to the audience, I wish I could have been here tonight, but unfortunately, I passed away this morning. The guy in the front was trying to figure that out. I heard him say to his friend, what is he, a ghost? And I'll tell you how I came up with that. It's a true story. I was reading the paper one day, and I saw this article that said the police found a body floating in the East River. And I found myself thinking, gee, I hope it wasn't me. How sick is that, right? True story, true story. So, anyway, you could probably tell just by looking at me, I fit in wherever I go. It's amazing. I just kind of blend into every crowd. I was a very nervous kid growing up. I've had a stomachache since 1964. I wasn't even born till 66. I was a very small child. I was born 9 months premature. I didn't think I was going to make it, and unfortunately I didn't, which is the second reason I couldn't be here tonight. I don't know why. For some reason I just like saying I couldn't be here tonight. I don't know. Do you guys know who Josh Groban is? Famous singer. Everybody knows Josh Groban, right? So I had this friend and he looks a lot like Josh Groban. And he hates it because wherever he goes, people stop him and tell him that he looks like Josh Groban. Because for some reason, people think they have the right to stop you and tell you who they think you look like. Right? So he calls me the other night complaining that wherever he goes, people tell him he looks like Josh Groban. Well, what the fuck are you complaining about? At least you get somebody normal. I get the Phil Spector fucked Elton John. Which could actually happen, by the way. No, it's funny because people think it's funny if you know what you look like, right? And each and every one of you swears you know what you look like. But the truth is, you know what you look like to you. You want to know what you look like, ask somebody else to describe you. But if you really want to know what you look like, ask the little kid to describe you. Trust me, you want to fucking kill yourself. I asked this little kid to describe me. He looked at me for a minute. He's like, Phil Spector fucked Elton John. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. I'm like, you're a little kid. How do you even know Phil Spector and Elton John? He's like, Google, bitch. Then he took it one step further. He said, you look like you wandered away from a rock concert in 1968 during a particularly intense acid trip. I was like, that's amazing, kid. You're only 1 year old. It was 1969. It was during the Woodstock Festival. I said, how could you possibly have known that? And he didn't answer me, and that's when I realized they had just made him up for the purpose of that joke. It was true, we have no idea what we look like, not a fucking clue. And I have to admit, I'm as guilty as anyone else. Now, have any of you been on the Manhattan subways when they're really crowded? You have that experience, right? You know how horrible that is, right? I got on the subway this week. It's the proverbial sardine can, not a seat to be had. This beautiful young girl tapped me on the arm. I think she wants to beat me. She fucking offered me her seat. And I took it too. Yeah, well, I had a long trip and I'm not too proud. Speaking of beautiful women, I see a lot of beautiful women here. I feel sorry for beautiful women. They have it really rough. Beautiful women are always complaining that men are afraid to approach them because they're afraid of being rejected. So when I see beautiful women, I go out of my way to pay attention to them. And the more beautiful they are, the more attention I pay. I feel it's the least I can do. So, I don't know, a lot of things confuse me. I don't know about you guys, but lots of things confuse me. Like, don't you hate it when you wake up in the morning and you're really in the mood to vote and there's no election? What do you do in a case like that, right? How do you take away that urge to cast a ballot? You know that night when you're supposed to turn your clocks ahead an hour at 2 a.m.? Yeah, what are you supposed to meet somebody at 2 a.m.? What time do you show up? At 1:59, you're still a minute early. 1 minute later, you're an hour late. You can't do it. It's not possible to do it. So many things confuse me. You never see an infant that looks familiar to you. You never hear anybody say, you see that infant over there? I can swear I know him from somewhere. Never hear that. Never hear that. I went into a store recently, I saw a sign that said occasional furniture. Occasional furniture. I'm like, what the fuck is it? It's not furniture. It's like most of the time it's a sweater, but occasionally it turns into a king-size bed. 3 days a week it's a pair of pants. The rest of the time it's a roll-top desk. It's a spider web and a room divider, which is basically what that joke was, except that neither side seemed to like it. So many things confuses me. You know what confuses me? The headbutt. The headbutt totally confuses me. How come only the guy receiving the headbutt gets hurt, and not the guy using his head like a fucking hammer? What is there, some secret agreement in the headbutt community that only one guy gets hurt at a time? Giving some guy a headbutt makes no sense. It's like shooting yourself hoping to get the guy behind you. These days, people are setting themselves on fire to protest. Now that's a tricky thing to do. Because what if the people you're trying to impress don't notice? It's not like you can do it again. You never hear this guy keeps setting himself on fire. 3 times already this week, setting himself on fire. I never hear that. Never hear that. So pants are important. I have no material on that. I just thought I'd let you know. No, I do have material on that. You know, I want to talk about ripped jeans for a minute. What's the fucking story with ripped jeans? Right? Ripped jeans. Why are jeans the only article of clothing you can show up in such bad shape that it's considered perfectly acceptable? Right? There is no other article of clothing you can show up in such horrible condition and get away with it. You can't show up in a torn shirt, a ripped dress, a suit with holes in the knees. But jeans can be ripped to shreds, people love them. I saw a girl last week just wearing poppets. That's all that was left. Both legs were completely gone, just poppets. $1,000. Poor people can never wear ripped jeans. They can't afford them. Soon it'll be like that old-time children's story, The Emperor's New Clothes. You'll be completely naked. People are like, where'd you get those jeans? Let me leave you guys on this. I love it. I look out, I see a very diverse crowd. And I don't care where you're from, but we all share similar traits in common. Similar traits. As people, we tend to exaggerate. Now think about it. How many times have you gotten that call from a friend who tells you he was almost killed, but he wasn't even hurt? Right? Almost killed. He has the balls to say he was almost killed, doesn't have a scratch on him. And they all have some weird story, and it all ends the same way. And 1 more inch, and I would have been killed. Now, what the fuck are you exaggerating for? If you're going to tell people you're almost killed, at least have the decency to be severely injured. Or else it diminishes the severity of the story, right? It's like saying, I almost had sex with this chick last night. Really? How far did you get? Well, I called her and she wasn't home. But if she had been home, I would have totally nailed her. very romantic expression, used mostly around Valentine's Day for any of you out-of-towners that would have nailed her. And it had to be created by a guy. And I'll tell you how I know that it had to be created by a guy, because only a guy would be fucked up enough to compare the act of having sex with a woman to hammering a nail into a piece of wood. You will never hear two women use that expression. You never hear one girl say to another, "How was your date last night?" "Great." "Did he nail you?" You never hear that. And if you do hear that, change who you're hanging out with, because it's a bad crowd. Not like you guys. You've been a great crowd. Thank you so much.